What's up, everybody? You've tuned in to JustDrawz, the podcast that explores hot topics and various experiences among same-gender loving Black men. In each episode, we offer raw, vulnerable, and stripped-down perspectives to give voice to our frequently overlooked population. Here, we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep, peeling back the layers of our experiences as well as heteronormative stereotypes. Let's get into this week's episode.
All right, so we're going to move on to our next question. Also from AskJustDrawz over 30. All right, so Wally needs some advice on taking spicy selfies. So Wally says, I want to take some spicy naked and semi-naked selfies that guys will find hot or at least intriguing. Looking for suggestions on positions, technique, setting, etc. Late 40s, tall, slim, not ripped or muscular, skinny, dad bod, I guess. Any advice?
As a person
What's a skinny dad bod?
Probably got a little beer belly.
Yeah, probably got a little belly, but is skinny everywhere else.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
As a person that did online sex work, my best advice is to try every angle you can think of and pick the one that looks the best. I went into it thinking, looking at inspiration from this guy or this pose and this, and I would do it and I'd be like, that is not you. That does not work for you in your ministry. You need to delete it. Make sure that Apple has no access to it ever again. That type of shit. But I learned my positions, like in the mirror or, setting up my camera like in front of my ring light and doing it that way and posing and making sure I felt confident in the pose. Which I think trying new things is the best way to go. Trying every angle you can think of and seeing what works best for you. I mean, like I said, there were certain ones that I thought, did look kind of decent, and then I would move a certain way or like lean up a little bit more or slouch a little bit more, and it would look a little bit better. So yeah, just try them all.
Okay.
Why does Wally need to take hot, spicy, semi-naked selfies?
Sounds like he's trying to attract some people for some mating rituals.
Right,
he wants
that's it. He's in heat.
That guys will find hot or at least intriguing. So it sounds like he's trying to get on the apps.
Yeah, he's in heat, exactly.
He is, yeah. He's somewhere with his ass in the air and meowing like a cat and
been there.
Come in, get oh, really? Okay. Not in heat. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I would agree with that too. Once you figure out what that angle is or what that position is or what that technique, is going to be for you, just stick to it, keep doing that, and don't be afraid to take 10,000 pictures and choose 4, because that's what I do.
Nobody's gonna see them until you post them. It's not like it's trial and error. I mean, it's not like you're posting them live on your Instagram feed or your story. You can delete and like I said, get rid of them. Make sure a nuke is sent to the place where they store the iCloud photos.
Permanently deleted.
Yeah, permanently get deleted and all that good stuff. But there's no right or wrong way.
And accent the parts on your body that you feel are most attractive. So if your ankles are really hot, like put that camera down by your ankle and look down at the camera, and it's like, ooh, that's sexy, that's hot. There are ankle fetishes, I'm sure, out there somewhere. If your ears are sexy, like take a lot more facial shots where it's like profile so people can see that, but I don't know, that's a personal kind of thing, but like it's always interesting how people add these extra little things into their comments, like, oh, I'm not this, I got a skinny dad bod, I need to take these selfies, like Okay.
You don't need to.
You don't need to do any of this, but
I think what he's saying with that is that I'm not a muscular guy, so it's not going to be like instantly attractive to people because I don't have rippling abs or, this bulging chest and broad shoulders. So I think he means more so like I have a dad bod, what's the best way that I can make my dad bod pop?
Not be a dad bod.
Lean into it.
Just going to be like, hey, what's going to be my best angle, for this style of body? I think that's what he's saying.
Something
lean into
clothes.
It.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
to cover it up.
Lean into
it. Yeah.
I'll say, Wally, like, I agree with you two. Like, I'm a person that never really took like hot selfies or sexy selfies until recently. So from my experience, I would say, get a ring light, make sure you got more panel lights. If you got an Apple Watch and you have an Apple phone, there you go.
Yes.
You got the perfect way to set your shot, take it on the phone with the or on the phone and use your app as your watch as your timer. Some of these ring lights come with the little remote control. You can take 1,000 pictures, and like you said, you just save the best for. With any picture that you take, crop. A lot of pictures just are not very good because a lot of people have way too much background, and this is for any picture. Crop it out. Adjust your lighting. It's okay to do all those things. Keep the ones that you like, and if you got a friend or that you trust that won't judge you for taking sexy photos, ask them to take a look at it and be like, "Hey, dude, don't." Not this one.
Yeah,
this
my best friend. My best friend for 20 years. I used to send her all my nudes, and I'd be like, "Girl, I need you to let me know. You need to let me know right now because I don't want to embarrass myself." And she would tell me, she'd be like, "Don't post this one. You should post this one. Retake this one. Try this pose." Like that's a great advice, Jeff. Like, get advice from people you trust.
So I have a question. What did you do as online sex work?
OnlyFans.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I did it for
during pandemic or
no. This was post 11-year relationship. Funds were low and rent needed to be paid. So, it was pretty decent. I mean, it was. I only did it for about 6 months. I made like around $5,000, so it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, I think the most interesting thing is like getting somebody hitting you up and saying like, "I'll give you $60 for pictures of your feet." It's the easiest money I've ever made in my life. Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
And your
like ankles,
my ankles and, do you have hair on your toes? Do you not have hair on your toes? I'm like, do you want hair on my toes? I'll go cut some off my head right now and glue it on there. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, give me the money. That's what I need. But it was fun. It served its purpose. It was all solo stuff. It was nothing with anybody else. You have to go through contracts if you do stuff with other people. So that's just complicated. And also, I didn't really want to put all that out there. That's too much for me. But solo stuff, it was fun. It was cute. I got a lot of judgment for it when I was trying to date and do it at the same time. I had this guy that was specifically attracted to me because he saw my body online, but when we started talking, he decided that I no longer needed to do that because it was too much. And he was like, "You're not going to." Essentially, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but it wasn't. First of all, I don't want to be a housewife, and secondly, I'm not a hoe. So the thing that drew you into me was the online sex work.
Was that right?
But now that you have access to me, it's like, you need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And this was a guy that was a divorced father of 3 and a pastor.
So he came with his own shit.
Yeah, but my sex work was too much for you, even though you subscribed to it was weird. It was really weird. Very weird.
Hypocrite.
That's right. Now that you're with me, you can't do that anymore. Even though while you were doing that, that's what brought me to you.
That's what brought me to you. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. I was so confused. I was like, not this man telling me I can't do this no more. Like, and we weren't even dating. We weren't boyfriends. Like, we were talking. We had went on 2 dates, I think. And, he was like, it's just, at first I didn't think it would bother me, and I've thought about it more. Well, stop thinking. Mm-hmm. Stop thinking. I said, are you going to pay my rent? No. Right. I got three kids. I said, okay, well then I need to be able to pay my rent. So
deuces.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got time for, I think, maybe two more. So
all right.
Out of the three that we've got left, let's see what you guys want to answer. So do we want to talk about our basic vanilla gaze extinct? Do we want to talk about nervous about going to a gay sauna? Or can we help someone from stopping ejaculating too quickly?
I'm down for it. I got advice for the gay sauna one.
I want the vanilla gaze.
Okay. Hey. All right. So you're the guest, Terico. So we're going to start with gay sauna. So this is coming from AskJustDrawz.
Okay.
Keon wants to know, I want to, and he's 25 years old, I want to experience public casual nudity, but of course, only if it's fully legal, safe, and everyone involved is 100% cool with it. I'm not like exhibitionists that get off on risk or shame. I've never been naked in a public space before, and I'm not willing to try in a situation that isn't fully legal, safe, and where I'm not risking making anyone uncomfortable. I just learned today about gay saunas. I'm wondering if it might fit what I'm looking for, a chance to be naked around strangers in a legal, normal way. I've also read that it's normal to be touched by others in gay saunas, but I don't know how much that's true. I would love to touch and be touched, but only if I'm not risking making someone uncomfortable and it's normal within the space. The thing is, I don't want to have sex with anyone. I'm definitely not interested in anything anal. Touching, feeling would be amazing, but mutual masturbation is the furthest I want to go with someone. I know gay saunas are typically hookups places. Would going to one for a different purpose be unsafe? Would it be too weird? I'm also not sure if I'd be able to work up the courage, especially since I'd be going alone. I'm bisexual, but not bi-romantic. So I don't date men. I'll never have a boyfriend to visit a place like this with. Does it sound like a gay sauna or maybe another location might fit what I'm looking for or not at all?
Okay. First of all, you don't, for me, my first sauna experience was at a Korean spa. Jeju is a really popular one here in Atlanta. And you being bisexual but not bi-romantic, I mean, it sounds like that might be more of a situation where it's like the dads that are going there to do the mutual masturbation thing if anything does go down. I feel like going to a quote-unquote gay sauna may be overstimulating for him if he goes. I've never actually been to one, so I would maybe single me would have went, because isn't there one here called Flex? Isn't that like a really yeah. I've heard some stories there, so I was like, I don't think that's what I want to do. Then there were some times at Jeju where it got a little overwhelming. There was like an 8-way masturbation session going on in the steam room one day, and I was just like, I love a free show, like that's great, but I was just like, y'all are risking it all. Y'all are risking being put on the list. I was like, I don't think I want to be put on that list. I don't want to be on no list, especially for trying to get my rocks off. I really think that it would be to go somewhere and just experience that level of getting comfortable first. And like I said, like a Korean spa or like Spa Land or something like that would be, I don't know where this person lives, but to check, I would say just regular spas first. And then if they're comfortable being naked with people, then you could try to step it up and go to a gay spa. And then you could explore a little bit more, or you could try communicating with somebody at the Korean spa, like, would you want to hook up or exchange numbers or something like that? I wouldn't go into it. It's also, he also contradicts himself because he's like, I want to go be completely normal, but then he's like, being touched and felt on would be amazing. If you want to go be normal, just go be normal.
Well, he said he didn't want to have sex. He didn't want to have anal sex.
Yeah, that's true. Which I don't think Does that happen at Flex? I don't know.
Okay, so I've been to Flex.
All right.
I've only
Here's
been
the expert.
once.
Let's go.
And I'll say this: like you spot on giving him the advice to go to like a regular spa first and see if that's something that he's into. Most Korean spas, where the traditional onsen, where you would be naked, go to the showers and all the little hot tubs and steam rooms and things like that. Traditionally, culturally, that's required to be naked, and it's not sexual in and of itself. People make things sexual or cruisy, and that just tends to be the case in a city that would have a larger gay population. People just become more comfortable, and people know when people come around to check on different things. So speaking specifically about a gay sauna, you could go to a gay sauna and not have sex. You could just go enjoy the steam room, the hot tubs, the showers, the saunas, all of that stuff, and not touch anyone. Because at the end of the day, or be touched, it's all about consent. Now you can see someone, doing those things, but that doesn't mean that you have to participate or that they want you to participate with them. And then, nothing happens that you don't want to happen. You can always tell someone, no, I don't want to be touched. Yeah. And again, this kind of comes down into, this is the cruising space at a gay sauna. So the same rules that would apply at any other cruising space or, unspoken rules of communication would apply there too. It's just that now you're just kind of naked instead of trying to hide around the park bench if you were at like a park or something like that. So I would say what he's after, he could definitely get at a gay sauna. Yeah. People don't always go there to have sex. They will jack off if that's all they want, or if they just want to see other naked dudes, they can do that too. But emphasis on gay sauna. Now, if you go to a traditional onsen or a traditional, Japanese or Korean spa, and you do that stuff and it's not allowed, you will get kicked out. Mm-hmm. And I've seen people get kicked out of the Jeju here in Atlanta, live and in person. It was like, oh, whoa.
Oh, you've seen it happen? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. I saw a guy, one of the workers came into the steam room or went into the steam room, and like maybe 2-3 minutes later, there was this commotion, and the guy was saying, I wasn't doing that. Yes, you were. And it was a he said type of deal, and the guy got escorted out.
Damn.
So I've actually seen that happen. So, it's not a place, at least here, Jeju is not a place where they F around. Like, they're very on the, if you get your rocks off there, great, if that's your thing and you're looking for it. But do not go up there to Jeju with that expectation that, you are going to have any type of participation in those type of activities, because they do check.
They will shut you down.
Yeah, it could depend on, what time of day you go. It could depend on the crowd that's there. But, those are things that you would probably find out if you do some research and connect with people that go on a regular basis. They could probably tell you like, hey, the best time to go if you're looking for that is this time. But if you want to go and it just be straight up, wholesome, this is the time you go. Because you got to remember, a traditional spot like that is going to have kids there, and you don't want to be involved with any of that going on. No, I would like to think that people would not be involved in that, like at 11 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Now, you go there because it's a 24-hour place. Saturday night at 2:30, I don't know. Right. The whole vibe can change.
Yeah, you're right. It does change. Like the clock strikes 9 and it dicks her up.
There would be a shift in the clientele and what happens there. So, go at your own risk. But yeah, if he's looking for some mutual masturbation or just want to have a group circle jerk, you could probably get that at a gay sauna for certain.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Going to a regular sauna just to kind of see what the vibe is. If this is an activity that you want to level up to that type of activity, do that first, but don't go with the expectation that something's going to pop off.
True. Yep. That's great. Absolutely.
I think didn't he say his name is Keon?
Yeah, Keon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think Keon needs to find a new experience. I think that he needs to, crocheting exists, baking bread, rock climbing, something else. Find something else to do, because the thing that kept popping up in the description that Jeff read was legal, uncomfortable, and safe. Those words popped up at least 2 or 3 times in the description. And so clearly those are things that are very heavy on your mind. And if you're that nervous and anxious about it, that in asking gay bros on Reddit this question, and you're using those 3 terms 3 times, you're not ready for any of this. So again, I think you should just go find some knitting needles and some yarn, and maybe do that naked in the house where it's safe.
Take a nice walk in the park.
So where it's legal, where it's safe,
and we're judging tonight,
and it's not uncomfortable for anybody else. Maybe the couch, depending on if you're clean, if you've showered. But that's, other than that, that's it. That's my suggestion to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, at the gay sauna, what he's describing and what he wants, he'd be able to do. That would not be an issue. He just can't do that at a traditional sauna. So he would still be safe and legal in those situations.
Go do something else, and just think of a new dream or a new experience there.
Dream a new dream.
There you go.
All right. Okay, our final question of the night. Last bit of advice that we're going to give out today. Are basic vanilla gays extinct? This is coming from Bob from AskJustDrawz. Just the plain vanilla.
Bob.
Ask Gay Bros. No over 30. No over 40.
Okay, right.
Ask Gay Bros.
Because I want everybody to know this.
Bob says, I am a 39-year-old gay male. I look like 20s, early 30s. Not relevant to the story, but glazing a bit.
Okay.
Who was in a long-term relationship since 2011. I met my ex-boyfriend on MySpace.
Wow.
And I don't think I even knew Grindr was a thing then. About 4 years into the relationship, my boyfriend came out as asexual. So any activity between us basically stopped. I was okay with it, but we did eventually drift apart and finally ended things in 2023. A few months later, I got horny AF and started to join the various apps. I was versed when I was younger, but not having sex for nearly 10 years, and the fact that no matter how much psyllium husk I shovel into my body, I still have crayon shits. I decided to label myself as a side because in general, I love sucking D and frotting more than anything else in the world. I'm also not into kink and put that in my bios. It seems like every message I get is asking me to top while their girlfriend watches, asking if I fuck their girlfriend while they watch, asking I can eat their wife's pussy, if I can meet them in the park bathroom, wear a dog mask, and be a good boy, spank them, get tied up, puke on them, wear diapers, pig play, a straight woman, or the overly aggressive straight guys wanting me to suck them off behind a Wawa. I don't mess around with straight men, not interested in being strangled to death after they have a masculinity panic afterwards. Is no one just a plain vanilla gay anymore? I'm not knocking kink. I'm just not into it. Like, I just want someone to pump a load into my throat and take me out to Taco Bell afterwards, or settle down to watch Lord of the Rings.
What the fuck? So please let me go.
Pump a load in my throat, child.
Please let me go. Right. Pump a load in my throat. So
and go eat Taco Bell.
So instead is nuts. And so you want beef and sour cream at home, and then somebody to take you out to go get more beef and sour cream after that? So let's start at the beginning here. The fact that you talking about I'm 39, I look late 20s, early 30s, like okay,
lies.
Unnecessary. Exactly. Yeah. Clearly, if you have to put out there that you look younger than what you are, then you probably look older than what you are, and somebody has lied to you and said that. Then you met on MySpace. Did Grindr exist in the days of MySpace? Anyway, let's move on. So it's interesting. Bob didn't say anything about him being bisexual, right?
No, he said he was.
No, he says a gay man. He says a gay man, but he's verse. But so then
he was verse, but then he was in a relationship with someone that's asexual, and now he considers himself a side.
So what does asexual have to do with the fact that you're verse?
Because he was with his partner who revealed that they were asexual early in the relationship. Well, 4 years into relationship that they started in 2011. So this was in 2015. So between 2015 and 2023,
they weren't having sex.
They weren't having sex.
But I'm saying, like, the partner was asexual.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a designation that doesn't have anything to do with a sexual position, right? So why is it that, okay, I was verse, but then my partner came out as asexual? So I'm trying to figure out, is this person still verse now?
I'm guessing that they weren't having sex regularly, and since they were not, I guess, being penetrated in all that time, they're just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. I'm good just being aside, and I don't want to stick my dick in anybody.
Okay. Then the
or vice versa.
Right. Then the note that I got on the apps, but everything that Bob describes was about somebody wanting them to top while their girlfriend did this, while their girlfriend did that, eating their wife's this, wanting, all of this overly aggressive straight guys. Like, okay, so what apps are you on as a gay man that you're getting hit up by all of these straight guys to do gay shit? And then you just kind of put you put yourself in a geographic region of the world right there. So it's like, okay, so now we kind of know where you are, because Wawa doesn't exist everywhere. But having said all that, the vanilla gay stuff, like I'm not even sure that being a side is necessarily vanilla. If we're talking about traditional sex, like traditional sex, other than it being oral, is penetrative. And so side is something that really came out more recently. I didn't start hearing the term side until, maybe a few years ago. And there are people who still are like, what the hell is a side? So it's like you're already up on game as it relates to things that are not so vanilla. So I'm like, why are you looking for someone to be vanilla when you're not necessarily vanilla yourself?
So you don't think that being a side is vanilla?
Not necessarily, no. Because there are things that you have to do if you're just going to be mutually jacking off and stuff like that. Like, you're not just mutually jacking off and you're laying there, I'm looking at my dick, he's laying there, he's looking at his dick, and then y'all just get off. No, there's some things that you're probably doing either to each other, like you're either playing with each other or you're watching each other. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily vanilla.
I mean, that seems like it's less complicated than actually having traditional dick and pussy, dick and ass sex, though.
It may be less complicated, but it's not something that is traditionally thought about. When I think about vanilla, I'm thinking about bass. I'm thinking about baseline stuff. So being aside is something more.
But see, that kind of goes back to something else too, because like people say that, oh, I don't know what a side is. They know what the hell a side is. They just acting obtuse. Fraudage has been around for a long time. Like we've been on this planet thousands of years. So this stuff, nothing is new. Like people haven't like just discovered this stuff in the last 5 years, talking about, oh, this is what I do. Like we can call it these new things, but the action is not new.
Yeah, the word side is like a buzzword, basically.
Yeah, okay. I think people are just kind of like trying to make fun of something that they're not into, and that's fine. But I kind of feel like it goes back to, this is not my experience, but I know other people when they were younger, they would mess around with other boys as teenagers or preteens, and that's what they did. They jacked off. So I don't think that those guys that were just jacking off together when they were younger and adolescents and early teenagers, I wouldn't say that they're into this wild sex shit because they were just jacking off together. That to me doesn't compute. As an adult, they're making the choice to do that, or they know that that's not what they're into. They don't want to go through the process of cleaning out. They don't want to go through the process of getting shat on. So I get that, because I feel like it's not, even though it's not something that a lot of people talk about, I think more people are coming out saying that this is what they do because they don't want to go through the whole process of cleaning out, waiting on somebody to come to the place. They don't show up after they clean out, or vice versa. And it's kind of like, oh, I didn't waste all of this time, when you can just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to the jack off place, just like the dude that we were just talking to that wanted to go to the sauna, get my rocks off, and then go home. And that just seems like a whole lot more vanilla to me than actually going through the process of actually having penetrative sex and coitus.
I just think that he would have to define vanilla then, to me.
Yeah.
So
there is a lot left to the imagination, but I get what Jeff's saying about vanilla, like oral sex specifically, or just jacking, mutual masturbation is pretty vanilla. I call and only speaking for myself, I always call myself vanilla because I don't like a lot of kinky, wild stuff. I don't judge people that do like it.
Likewise.
But I just like what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to go into it. I like intimacy. I like penetrative sex. Oral sex is great. Like all that stuff is great. But I do consider it to be a little bit on the vanilla side because I have, being on any app, because I was on stuff like Bumble and Tinder and stuff like that. People do come at you with some freaky shit, and it's stuff that I had not even heard. Now there are some things I had never heard of, so I was like, I don't even, like, I'm on my phone like, what the fuck does that even mean, and then finding out, I'm like, oh, I don't do that.
Right.
I would never. Oh my god. But then there are guys that, like you said, there's nuances to the vanilla thing. There are guys that would have their address on an app and have 5 loads by the end of the night, and they consider that vanilla. So his definition, he does need to define the word vanilla, because my definition of vanilla is just a little bit of oral sex and masturbation. Yeah, subjective, 100%. Yeah.
So I think that's where I think the discrepancy is coming from for me, because it's just like, okay, well, some of this I'm not sure I would necessarily call vanilla. I mean, having somebody pump a load in your throat and then take you to Taco Bell, like, maybe that's not vanilla. What's in your mouth is vanilla, but or your throat, but not necessarily that action of doing that. But hey, whatever.
I mean, I don't think he literally wants someone to take him to Taco Bell.
I mean, I just want someone to pump a load into my throat and take me out to Taco Bell, and then settle down and watch Lord of the Rings. And then why Lord of the Rings? That shit's like 6 damn hours.
Right. Now that's vanilla. You want to talk about vanilla?
Yeah, right.
That's the vanilla part. Right.
Yeah, that's vanilla. Yeah.
Oh well. We hope that he'll find what he's looking for. I don't want him to
Taco Bell. I hope he finds that too.
I hope he gets his Taco Bell and no one asks
his loads. Yeah.
His loads. No one asks him to do any type of bisexual activity. He can just have his dick and someone else's, and they can touch each other and that.
Right. Done.
All right, so that's all the time we have tonight for questions. We don't know everything, and sometimes we just need the help of some internet strangers to help us along. But you know what? If you liked our takes tonight on the advice that we've given, why don't you reach out to us, and we're going to solicit some advice. So reach out to us at AskJustDrawz@gmail.com. That's AskJustDrawz@gmail.com. Send us your questions for advice, help with this difficult situation, or anything else you'd like that you want to know about us. We'll do our best to include it in a future show. So that's it for now. Terico, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you want to?
It.
Yeah, we enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll come back again. Is there anything else you want to close out with us tonight?
I think we came to the conclusion a lot tonight that to each his own. It really is, during my time being single, I was in an 11-year relationship, and then being single for almost 2 years. Discover everything that you can, about yourself. It's important to not, let all these societal normatives and boundaries and expectations really set the tone for what you want in your life. If you want to go to a gay sauna and jack off, go do that. If you want to slurp down a bunch of loads and then go to Taco Bell, go do that. If you want to lose weight for yourself, take pictures of
your ankles. Yeah.
Take pictures of your ankles, both of them. You got two. You got choices. You know what I mean? So I think just discover as much as you can about yourself while you're here, because you're not always going to be. I think that's the best thing people can do for themselves.
Paint with all the colors in the box while you can.
Yeah, go have that dinner alone. Go, take a walk in the park. Go crochet naked on your couch. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to the dude at CrossFit.
Absolutely.
Period. Talk to him. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Terico, again. And that's it. So we hope you guys felt the love, laughed a bit, and maybe even learned something new tonight.
So remember that the conversation does not stop here. All right. We want you to follow us on our JustDrawz social media. Also follow us individually. So share your thoughts, ask us some questions, share your stories, all of that good stuff. Or, if you just want to come in and say, hey, what's up, y'all? Do that as well.
Until then, just be bold, just be beautiful, and most importantly, just be.
We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Now be sure to like, share, and follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Spotify at JustDrawz. That's JustDrawz. Until next time,